Ladies and gentlemen, it is Chamber Wednesday.
Listen to us on Chamber Wednesday as we talk about how to promote, protect, and invest in Chesterfield businesses. Tune in to 1061 on Wednesdays for Chamber Wednesday so you can listen to how we can support, invest, and promote your business right here in Chesterfield County. Find the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce at chesterfieldchamber.com or on all of your social media accounts at Chesterfield Chamber VA.
My name is Jimmy ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On Mike King here. This is part of the Mike King Biz Media Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, International Business Group Radio, Saturdays 10 a.m. in the East, as well as CW Richmond TV. You know what time it is? It is Chamber Wednesday, just like you just heard. El Presidente is in the house. Danielle Fitzhugh, welcome back to the program, ma'am.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so it's a big day for you. It is your chamberversary.
It is. 18 years in the industry. And I still have to tell people like this is my real job.
How many chambers have you been at?
3.
Okay, people around here know you from Petersburg.
Yeah, but I probably had like just about an equal stay at all 3 chambers. So 6 or 7 years at all 3. Mm-hmm.
Okay, where was the first one that you were at?
So home, Charlottesville. Charlottesville's home. Most people know that. And so back then I was the vice president of the Charlottesville Chamber, under the helm of Tim Holbert, who has since retired. And today, my dear friend who I helped get into the business, Andrea Copeland, is their interim chamber president out there in Charlottesville.
So did the man Tim, he made you an offer that you couldn't refuse, is that correct?
He did. He was really great. I mean, you know, when you talk to people in the interview and someone says to me, you know, we really like you. We like the skills that you have and can bring to the table. We think you would be a good fit. We know you might not stay forever, right? But when you're ready to leave, I'm going to help you get there.
Okay.
I mean, what do you say no to that? How do you say no to that?
What was the thing that you learned at the Charlottesville Chamber?
Making the right relationships.
Okay.
Making the right relationship is the thing, and that you can lead in any capacity. I think that was big. I think, and I was a baby, right? So I didn't know until a member came up to me and she said, Danielle, you know our members look at you as a leader in the chamber.
Hometown girl makes good. So all of a sudden you're a person in the community, now all of a sudden you're at the chamber, which is a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first place to know a person, right? And, you know, I moved around through the various communities really because someone knew a person who knew me. I don't know what it would be like to not know someone and then like go get a job.
No, but it always makes it easy. Okay, so you moved to Petersburg.
I do. Well, I moved to Chesterfield to take the helm at Petersburg, but I was always living in Chesterfield when we made that move. And again, it was the I know a guy. I had helped the son of a Petersburg business owner opened his business in Charlottesville. And he had been on the board in Petersburg, and he watched from afar to make sure everything got right with his son's business in Charlottesville. And so when they had a need, he called me. He called me at work, and he said, hey, would you be interested in coming down here?
What would you pick up at the Petersburg Chamber?
Oh, my gosh. So Petersburg was just, it's a wonderful community of citizens who are invested in themselves, right? And so they have a deep, passionate history of business and economy. And, I mean, you're all in. You have a certain, Petersburg doesn't get out of your skin, right?
Okay.
Like, once you come through the community, you always have a tiny little piece there that stays with you. I mean, I am always cheering for them to win.
Okay, so, but you went to Petersburg as the leader.
Correct. I was
I was
their president.
So that's the first time that you are setting your culture on an organization. And you know, I always talk to people about culture. How did you change the culture? How did you set your culture stamp on Petersburg?
Yeah, I never forget. You know, the chamber had a relationship of animosity with quite a few when I came there. And so I was working on building bridges that had been broken.
Okay.
And so people don't know how you feel until they see you in action. And, to have community leaders come to you and say, I just sort of watched you on the sidelines to see what you would do. And I like what I see and I'm ready to get involved. And I mean, I even hear for some of those leaders today about, hey, Danielle, can you help me with this? I mean, and those bridges that you build stay intact. I mean, I go, I'm on committees and boards that are circling Petersburg, and I see some of those leaders today, and it's always a warm handshake or hug.
What was it? Weren't you on the board of, what is it, Mary Bland?
Richard Bland.
Richard
Bland College.
And so you put your years in there. You just finished, right?
Richard Bland is I'm going to say a best kept secret. So, my daughter, she's getting ready to turn 30. So 12 years ago, we looked at Richard Bland. Now, granted, I wasn't in the community, didn't know anything about the area, but we knew that she wanted a baby small college. And we looked at Richard Bland, but we didn't know anyone. So she ended up at another small college where we had family, and they did not have a great program at that college about, I'm a first-year college student, I've been away from home, I don't have people getting me up every day, making sure I eat, all those things. Richard Bland is a fantastic, innovative college under Dr. Saito that's meeting the needs of today. They have wraparound services, so if they see a student that may be slipping, they have their student access that comes together to help them get back on track. They have a fantastic, dual enrollment program. I mean, I've had friends whose kids graduated from high school in Richard Bland within 2 weeks of each other. It's the only 2-year college in Virginia. It's not a community college. It is a 2-year college.
And kids stay on campus and everything?
Kids stay on campus. They have very glamorous dorms on campus. It used to be that Chesterfield was their biggest feeder population of students, but they also have athletics. They just added women's basketball this past year. They were the runner-up in their JUCO division, and their women's volleyball won the title of their JUCO division. So, I mean, they have a lot of things going on. They have a fantastic high school to work program. So if students don't have, they're not thinking I might go that 4-year pathway once they graduate, they have partnerships with manufacturers around the region that will allow them to work and get education, so they're earning money and getting a degree from Richard Bland all at the same time. And then you come out after that 2 years with a higher position opportunity.
All right.
So that's my Richard Bland commercial.
That's
I'm going to leave them with that commercial because I'm just coming off their board.
I noticed that. I saw you standing with the flowers. When I saw you with the flowers, I thought you were leaving the chamber. All right. So you're down in Petersburg. Yes. Move up to Chesterfield.
Yeah, and I mean, that was interesting. So I had a board member there and a board member here in Chesterfield because, there's such close communities. Yes. There's a little bit of overlapping. They were next door neighbors. Board member there and a board member here, next door neighbors. So there might have been a conversation as they're taking out the trash at the end of their driveway. There might have been before they ever talked to me. So fast forward a few years, and I get a phone call on my cell phone from a dual member that's in both chambers, and he's a leader in the region, and he says, Danielle, I don't know, but we'd like you to put in for the position. And I said, it's a process, right? Like to go through when you're thinking about your next career steps, it really, and you really got to think about, do you have time to do a career search? And I wasn't looking for a job. I was already a chamber president. And I really did. I was like, well, I'm already running a chamber. I'm already a chamber president. I had won Chamber Executive of the Year based on my work in Petersburg. And Petersburg is you can't go in halfway.
Like, you went all in.
You're all in. And I did not necessarily have the time to go through a professional search process of work, because it's a work, right? And so I said, it seems like it would be a great opportunity and a great next steps. And people knew I lived in Chesterfield. That was not a big secret. And I said, I don't have the time to necessarily go through the process because I am running and I am committed to who's paying me. And I am committed to Petersburg and the work that we were doing there. And I said, but if you get through this process and you think you still want to talk to me, let's talk. And so fast forward, everything worked. It was a great opportunity for me to come over in the right time. And, my Petersburg friends, I never forget, I gave my notice to my executive committee, and I don't know who was more emotional, them or me, because you love the community there. And my commitment was to get them through their biggest fundraiser. So I got them through their biggest fundraiser on like a Saturday and overlapped here part-time for about a month and then started that following week.
Alrighty, so you come up to, so on the mic, Danielle Fitzhugh, this is Chamberversary, so congratulations to her. So all of a sudden you come to...
That's 6.5 years ago.
I remember when I got here, I was trying to knock on your door about doing some stuff in Petersburg. And next thing I know, you had moved.
Yeah.
You had moved. Okay, so you come here, you put your stamp on Chesterfield. This is the part of the show where we go to the Chesterfield pitch. Let's get the pitch out the way.
Yeah, so my whole goal is helping businesses grow their business. So whether you are in Chesterfield or you want to serve the market of Chesterfield, there's no better place to do it than with our Chesterfield Chamber.
All righty, a lot of great, exciting things happening in Chesterfield. You guys are doing ribbon cuttings every 15 minutes, it seems like.
They do. They come a little bit in peaks and valleys, I will say.
You guys are on a run.
We're on a little bit of a run. The valley is high right now.
The valley is, yes, you are in some mountains. So the last one I saw was, what is it, Clean Eats?
Clean Eats. Yeah, it's a great concept. They have another location in your neck of the woods over in the West End. But this is their second location in Midlothian. And you can... come in and get meals, but not through a subscription. You can go in, there's subscription companies, but you can go in and get prepared meals in a variety of options, and every week they have a menu. So, for instance, you could go in and get 5 meals for $41. That's like $8.
That's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
Healthy eating as well.
Healthy eating. So, no salt, no sugar. The preservatives are kept low, and you can get 5 meals, stick them in your freezer. I think they have a shelf life 3 months or more, and eat them at your whim. The more meals you get, the lower your price is. But they also have a cafe, so you can come in and get a selection of menu items just off their cafe and eat in their restaurant or take it home to go. And they're over near River City Sports Park, so they're over there in the Genito and Charter Colony intersection in Chesterfield. So in that area, all the sports activities that are happening at the sports park, they're going to be really busy with teams coming in and grabbing. Like I had the chicken Parmesan melt, and you're thinking fried chicken breast with cheese and marinara, but it was in a wrap. But this was in a wrap. It was not fried. It was delicious. I didn't feel like I was eating healthy,
right?
But I also didn't have like that full. I ate like my whole weight in food feeling after either for lunch.
Okay, so now.
So best of luck to them.
You were always you, and we've had this conversation in the past. A couple weeks ago, there was the Lego big splashy announcement, $1 billion deal. That happens here and there. The Clean Eats things, people opening businesses all the time. They happen all the time here, and that's what you talk about. The chamber, it is something for everyone there.
Yeah, that's a small business, right? And he lives in Chesterfield, so he lives off Hull Street. So the owner of that business is doing business where he lives and works and plays and is contributing to his economy right here in that area. Now, is he going to serve the lake project that's being built, which is a recreational project? We'll talk about that later in another taping.
Here
is he going to serve a River City Sportsplex and the development that's happening right next door to it? Absolutely. Somewhere down the road, Upper Magnolia will get a project there, and he will serve that large project.
That's what you're talking about. There's something there for everyone.
And there will be more small businesses opening in not only that area, but along Hull Street West, all serving all those economic development engines. So, you know, River City Sports Park and whatever recreational development goes beside it is one economic development engine. The Lake Project is another economic development engine. Upper Magnolia is another economic development engine. They're all in close proximity, but all of those small businesses serve them.
And that's the win.
That's the win.
That's the win for Chesterfield. On the Mike King here, Danielle Fitzhugh. All right, man, what are some of the other things happening?
Yeah, next week we have our monthly lunch. It is our signature commercial. 200 people of your best friends.
That's what it is.
And if you can't meet all 200, you certainly will have an opportunity to meet the 7 or so that you're sitting with at lunch and give an opportunity to just, you know, do a quick business card exchange. We are, Jessica Van Leulen is going to be with JVL Consulting is our keynote speaker, and she's going to be talking about integrity.
I talked to her before. I talked to a lot of cool people because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had her on the program when she talks about, like you said, the integrity piece.
Integrity, authenticity, in a way, you know, your moral and value compass, right? You know, if you think there's something a little, guess what? There's probably something a little off. So, yeah, she's going to take us through, you know, integrity as you're negotiating contracts, integrity as a business development belief. You know, I did a post today about 18 years, and, you know, it's fancy to call it integrity, authenticity, and, you know, I just tell people, I said, you just keep it real.
Anna Soden.
Hey, Anna!
The Princess Mayor.
She's watching.
She is the human Rolodex.
She is. She's everywhere.
She is everywhere. I mean, every ribbon cutting. We were just at the Children's Hospital. Shout out to her. She's doing some amazing things. Oh, if we're talking about integrity and culture, I got to give a shout out to my man Rob White. Oh. You know, moving on, selling fast signs.
That's how you build it.
And you've had that conversation when we talked. I asked him, had you thought about it? He says, I build it and then let somebody else take care of it.
That's right.
If there's a model for doing business right,
he's how you do it.
Rob White is how you do it.
Yeah. And so now he has his own consulting business, Truckslow Consulting. So, you know, if you want to know what his magic sauce is, you might reach out to him. And
that's right. So shout out. Thanks for always being an outstanding supporter. As well as Anna Soden. She's out there. We do a lot of things, though. Shout out to her and all the great things at her magazine. And she is the human Rolodex. So if you need to meet somebody, Anna Soden's the person.
She is the person.
All righty. What else you got going on?
We also have our legislative breakfast coming up.
Oh, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to be at Ravi's Hotel down in Chester at the Spring Hill Suites.
That's right. Shout out to my man Ravi Patel.
Cena Hospitality, their Spring Hill Suites property down in Chester. Chip Dix with Gentry Lock is going to be our keynote speaker. So this is our breakfast where we bring in candidates from the primary. So if there's on the primary ballot, which is June 20th, we've invited them all to come speak. We will also have in attendance, we know we have some folks that are they don't have a primary challenger, but they will be at the November general election, and so I know they'll be in attendance, so they might be at your table. There's opportunity for you to hear from the candidates. Everyone's up for election this year. Chesterfield is purple, so anything goes, right?
And you've had the conversation about elections and who wins, it doesn't matter. You're saying
I got to work with everybody.
Once the election is over,
we got to get business done.
That's the way Chambers of Commerce work. Okay, so what else is happening with the Chamber?
Oh, we were talking before we went live about a golf tournament you were in, but we have our golf tournament. So go vote on the 20th of June, and you can come play with us in our golf tournament on the 21st of June. And we're going to be, again, in Chester at the Highlands.
Chester at the Highlands. So now, ma'am, I have a golf cart. I have a sign.
You have your sign? Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell Abby we don't have to get you a sign.
You don't have to have me a sign, and I put it on the golf cart, and then now the golf cart is officially Golf Cart 1.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have your own golf cart yet?
No, but I mean, I'm provided with the golf cart. When I show up, they give me, and I put my sign on it, and we're off. So last time you had Ken, who was there with me.
Yeah.
And so Ken was, he was a responsible driver.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But he kind of warmed up to, we're going to have some fun with this. That's where I met Anna Soden.
Yeah, Ken will be there again this year. He serves on our golf committee. He's such a fantastic volunteer. And Ken, we're talking about Ken Kelly with RVA Personal Safety. And so we have lots of graduating seniors in Chesterfield. So for those moms that are a little panicky about their seniors going off to adult and to college,
Ken's the man.
Ken's the man. He's got some personal safety items that you can look at, so give him a call at RVA Personal Safety.
And that date on that is June
21st.
Okay, we will be there at that time. How can people find information about the Chesterfield Chamber?
Yeah, you can find us at chesterfieldchamber.com and on all social media at Chesterfield Chamber VA. Chesterfield Chamber VA.
Is there another?
Well, I just got an inquiry the other day for Michigan, so I had to look up. I didn't know there was a Chesterfield, Michigan, but apparently there is. So I had to write them back and tell them good luck with their project. But we're in Virginia.
We are in Virginia. All right, so it's on the mic. What I'm coming up is May the 17th. We're going to be talking about how business is impacted by this banking situation. We're going to be at the Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be me and some friends of ours. We're there. If you want to find that information, you can go to my Facebook page or LinkedIn. You'll be able to see the information there. It is important, so it's going to be a networking opportunity.
You have chamber friends presenting at those
we
that
do.
too. I think you
so.
have chamber
My man
friends.
Dean Francis is there as well. So
as
he's
People's Advantage.
People's Advantage. We're talking about the banking, not so much banking really, but whether you're looking for access to capital, you're looking at all those things right there.
And who's your other speaker? You got one more speaker.
So we have, let me see. Julie Hill is going to be there.
Oh, I love Julie. I've known Julie a long, long time. She's fantastic. If you don't know her, you
need to know.
You're missing out.
The WOW Collaborative.
The WOW Collaborative.
Dean Francis is there as well. Chris Weldon. Chris Weldon is really how this thing started. He's a turnaround CEO. He questioned a month ago, maybe we need to start looking at this banking crisis because if banks are possibly going to start pulling back, and that's what happened. So we're doing that. Chris Kane from People's Advantage is going to be on the panel with us as well. And so that's who we're talking to. And Ebony Atkins.
Oh, okay.
Ebony Atkins, so my friends from Henrico EDA are going to come on, and we're going to talk about the business environment. May 17th at the Hilton. Shout out to my good friends over at the Hilton, John Carrio and the crew.
See, Chesterfield does travel. We go across the river.
Yes.
And
passports checked, visas intact. On the mic with Mike Danielle's here. We got to run, so on the mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond, 106.1, International Business Code Radio, Saturdays, 10 a.m. in the East, as well as CW Richmond. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Now, take care.
Bye.